Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Lost Gaming. Alright, last time we went to the field that Aura told us about, and we met up with her, some weird things happened, and then Kubi attacked us. After having been so decimated by him at the end of Infection, the fight wasn't too rough on us. Just as long as you remember that the main focus has to be the Kubi core, get it down, and everything else will be pretty much okay. So now we've got a lot of side quests that opened up for us. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we are going to go ahead and take on the next round of the Goblin Tag, and then we are going to accept Marlowe's one-on-one challenge. And looks like we've got some more stuff here. There we go. This is something I was meaning to talk about last time. Something Natsume told us about. So there's this little forum rumor here that if you go to the bottom of this dungeon and defeat this certain monster, your level will be 10 times its current level. For a game that caps at 99, even a level 10 character would level up so far beyond the level cap that doesn't make any sense, but and you kind of see you got some people making it look like it's a fake thing. I mean, it really just looks like it's one of those urban legend kind of things, that it's a joke. But that's what Natsume wants. But like I said, right now we've got some more important things to take care of. So, first things first, let's go and take on next round of the Goblin Tag. Interesting field this time.
You're doing well, Gob. At least up to this point.
Alright, so as always, we are not going to need the Nightblood this time, but those should be useful. And you see, he's got Earth, so if we wanted to, we could come over here, do Jukerum. That should, if you wanted to, that should hit his elemental weakness. But honestly, he's not that tough. I mean, you saw we hit him pretty hard. It's just a matter of catching up to him. He actually probably does, so far, I'd say, the best job of actually running away from us. I actually got I see a lot of white cherries. That'll be nice to pick those up once this is done. And like I said, because you can kind of hit from a distance with these, it does make this, you could just get near him, hit with those. If you had taken the time to get some of the items that will let you increase your magical accuracy and stuff like that, this can go super fast. But even at that, just a couple of hits per attack takes him down fast. You don't have to get nearly as close. I mean, I'm averaging 1 to 2 hits per casting. He doesn't have any healing that he's doing. Just keep doing that and he goes down.
To defeat me, of all goblins. Although I am depressed, I am thoroughly impressed.
And we got Goblin Gloves A. So before we leave here, we're going to pick up a bunch of these white cherries. Because always need grunty food. Pick them up every chance that you can get, because we've still got a couple of more servers to get to throughout the game and the series, so we need to make sure we've always got grunty food, and that anytime we find it, we go ahead and pick it up. I mean, and it's also worth running around getting some of the magic symbols, because those count towards your real books. Generally not something that's that important to do, because you see so many of them. But since we're here, and that didn't take long, we'll just run around just a little bit longer just to get what we can. And I really think that's probably a pretty good... So once you finish this quest off, if you ever need to get white cherries for what your grunty wants, this seems like a pretty good place to come get them. There's a bunch of them all over the place. No monsters that you have to worry about. Overall, not that bad a place to go for picking those up. Alright, so let's go ahead and we will go on and take on Marlowe. I'm just going to show you the levels of some of these. As you can see, they're creeping up a good little bit. So we'll go ahead and get Marlowe today. I don't remember this quest being too hard, but at the same time it's also been a while, so I don't really remember all that great. And since we're alone, we need to be very careful. I'm probably going to open up maybe just one or two monster portals here this time, because when you are doing this by yourself, things can get out of hand very quickly. I definitely don't want to die again.
What? That's...
I actually did that on purpose. I wanted to show off what happens when you come to a field at the wrong time. Probably should have used a different weapon, but I think my point was made. If you use the wrong piece of equipment, depending on the weather, in a Spring of the Mist, your equipment can actually lose effectiveness. And I was listening to a conversation on the Discord chat the other day, and the topic turned to data drain, drain arc, and some of the other abilities that you get later on with data drain. According to the information that was gathered by Hashard and others in their research for speedrunning, they found that the increase of infection for using drain arc is only 1.5 times that of using data drain. So, in theory, it is actually more cost-effective, infection-wise, to use Drain Arc when possible. Now, I will agree with that point, only to the level that I think that if you can, that it is a good ability to conserve infection if you can get it to pull off. There's probably some people that are a lot better than me at this, that have a much easier time with some of these things, but I don't see Drain Arc as being that useful. It's okay, but it's not something I find myself using a lot, because it just seems like anytime I'm able to get one monster protect broken and I work on the next one, Protect Restore kicks in and it doesn't work.
What's it to you?
Don't call someone anonymously. It's against etiquette. Know the rules.
I just wanted to talk about something, that's all. What's wrong with that?
The way it's written is offensive.
Just stop it, okay?
Why should you be a norm?
It's about time you ask. We work day and night to ensure the peace and justice of the world.
Huh, got it. See ya. I ain't got as much time on my hands as you fellas.
So that was Marlowe and two characters called Peace and Justice. They're a little weird.
Below, but I advise against meeting anyone with such...
Actually, now that I think about it, this is a good chance for me to show off a trick that I actually was not aware of till recently. Want to thank Kaiichi, I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You might have seen him make some comments on some of my videos. He has helped me figure out a little trick that I actually did not know about. So when you see rooms like this, the dead end rooms with 2 monster portals in it, as soon as you go through, hold back. This will cause only 1 monster portal to activate instead of both. So if you know that you are going to be in a room with multiple monster portals, and you don't want them to all to activate at once because of the types of monsters that are in the dungeon, there's you a trick to only have to fight them one at a time, or at least 1 monster portal at a time. Actually, don't remember what that was. Let's see, sure enough, I've got something in here that is worth getting rid of. Stone Crusher sounds like a piece of equipment. I probably should have looked and figured that out earlier. Okay, that's actually a pretty solid heavy blade weapon. It's not bad. Need to get a couple more since we've got our field with Sanjuro coming up, and we definitely haven't used him in a while, so he needs to get leveled up and needs to get some more equipment. And there we go, there's our second And I suppose if you can pull this off, this is as good a way as any to try to get your multi-data drains off. Now the problem is, like right now, I'm just getting hammered by magic spells and I am unable to move. And as soon as I get free, protect, restore. So it's, like I said, like if you can get it pulled off, yeah, it's great. It works really well. It is a lot more cost effective, so it can keep you from getting too much infection level, which can be especially helpful and especially necessary later on in the game, and especially once you get more into quarantine. And see, I just wanted to show that stepping forward, you can have them all trigger. Fortunately, we got lucky that this other one over here, it was a chest instead. And mostly what I'm doing is I'm still just trying to make sure I data drain a lot to get as much and as many virus cores as I possibly can. You want to grind them up, at least in my opinion, you want to grind them up early. You want to get them every chance that you can get. Just go ahead and pick them up wherever you can. I feel like that is just a more effective way of doing it overall than trying to grind it out later in the game. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't work as well. Alright, so now we're seeing a field that's, we're starting to get into some stuff that's a little bit more difficult. That first one wasn't a bad floor, but now we are running into a lot more monsters on this one. We could just get through it and move on, but like I've said before, I feel like that is not an effective thing to do, especially since we're running 100% through the game. Whenever we can actually take some time and open up all the monster portals, either in a dungeon or in a field, I think that it is worth us doing, if only to make sure that I can show you guys a little bit more of everything in the game. I mean, I could pretty easily just take all of that and just go and do it offline. And when I'm not recording, not offline, I'm getting way into this game here lately. But I want to show as much as I can, particularly the things where we're going to be doing things to complete different quests. Okay, so here we go. Headless Kings, that's new. Darkness Tolerance, so that would mean the best thing to go against them with the elemental hit is going to be that Mayrai Cruise. If you get the elemental hit with them, that is going to just absolutely blast them. And I do think that that is one of the things some people have pointed out to me once you get to this point of the game, the elemental hits become extremely important. That magic goes from something that didn't really pay much attention to extremely useful. Because you can just see how much more damage, how quickly you're able to do if you have the elemental advantage. And actually, I think I picked up... yeah, one of those, that worked. And one of the things that I want to help Hashert with, because it has been seemingly a little bit of a pet peeve of his, there has been a rumor on this series forever that the only way to get your infection level down is that Kite has to be the one to get a final hit on the monster. And there have actually been some variations of this rumor that it has to be a physical hit, that you have to use a regular attack action to defeat the monster to get your infection level to go down. This is absolutely 100% false. It does not matter who gets the final hit. It does not matter if it's a physical attack or a magical attack, as long as there is an attack. We actually got something that we might be able to pull off. Yes, it looks like it's going to hit both. And I got a lot of HP drained from me because of that, but you see, when it works and when you can actually get it to pull off, that is a great trick. Oh boy. Alright, well, I'm starting to get a little too much elemental, or a little too much infection on me. I don't want to run the risk of getting a game over, because as you get more levels of infection, the greater the chance that you will just outright get the game over. We're going to take some time and we're going to just defeat some enemies with some regular attacks and just not use data drain at all. Based on the information that Hashert saw, your infection level goes up based on the, if I remember correctly, the formula is something along the lines of the monster level minus Kite's level with a minimum of 7, and that every time you beat a monster, it goes down based on a random number between 2 and 4. So no matter what you do, you will always get, at minimum, 7 infection every time you data drain. And it will go down every time you beat a monster, at minimum 2. So if you're at a high enough level, you can kind of keep track a little bit, not fully unless you're using like a cheat engine and you're seeing the code as it's happening and things like that. But you can kind of give yourself a good estimate of where you are based on what you know about the monsters that you've been draining, and how many of them you've been beating. Ooh, okay, that... Our HP dropped a lot faster there than I expected. And I actually want to... I'm kind of glad it's dropped so quick by taking some of this time. I actually want to data drain the Headless Kings a little bit more, just because since they're new, we hadn't dealt any with them before. We haven't really seen all the stuff that we can get from them. I would have liked some items. We can kind of guarantee that a little bit later, but for now you can't. You just have to keep data draining them till you get what you want. And depending on how the dungeons are set up, we may actually get a god statue out of here. I can't resist. I've got to try. Train arc. Got them both. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Well, we've got some time we can afford to... Nah, I'm not going to data drain anymore. Really didn't mean to get rid of that like I did. But as you can see here in the equipment, we've got a new Blade Master. Actually, two new ones. Glitter and Lake and Sea. Neither of them are quite as good as Fire and Sky, but that's neither here nor there. Before I get myself in trouble, let's go ahead and heal. Alright, first things, let's go ahead and get rid of this Valkyrie. Let's also use some of these so I don't die. It's always important not to die. Especially as far as we've come in this fight. And in this dungeon, I really don't want to mess this up and wind up getting myself in trouble and having to do it all over again. But that's fine. So we got a new long arm weapon. That ought to be nice to give to either Nuke or Gardenia. And actually we've got two now, so we can actually give away a couple of them. And you can see it's good little bit better than attack of 24, attack of 23. I mean, it's got some advantages over the Tranquil Lance that I think both of them have. And actually, I believe I'm correct. This should be the God statue. Yes, it is. A Protect Ring. It's new. Here are kind of useless glitter. Ray, and another Ivory Beret. So neither of those were really all that useful.
Golden egg.
Get us a nice new golden egg. because we always need more of those. And
What do you want? Go away! Revolver!
so we got Hades' Hound. Marlowe's attacking it. I think he's kind of forgotten about us. Yeah, I'm going for it just because I want to. And that's the end of that. And with that, we should actually...
Such a nuisance.
You're Marlowe, right? I read the board. What do you want to talk about?
Didn't think anyone would respond to a post like that. Well, what was it I wanted to talk about? I forgot. Oh well, let's meet up again sometime.
So Marlowe kind of trash talked us, then forgot what it was he wanted to talk about, and then gave us his member address. If I remember correctly, as you learn more about him, you find out he's actually a little bit of a drunk, so there's always that. Alright, but with that, I think we will call this episode to a close. I'll see you guys next time.